may not be suitable for all audiences.
Thank you, artists, for creating the world's most beautiful music, paintings, and Subway sandwiches.
Art 101 with Mr. Burgher.
Scholars, welcome back to another episode of Art 101 with me, Mr. Burgher. I'm a professional artist and master educator attempting to provide you with the best in art historical content. If you like the content, make sure you share it, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and do all those nice things that good scholarly individuals like yourself would do.
You know, we all have our needs.
Richard Serra is a very important contemporary artist. Today, as you know, because you clicked on the video, we're going to do a little bit of a dive into his background. So, without further, let's jump right into it. An artist that puts his emphasis on the process of creating is the sculptural artist known as Richard Serra. He was born in November of 1939 in San Francisco, and at the time of this recording, that would put him at about 84 years old. His dad was a shipyard pipe fitter, and so working with metal and seeing others working with various forms of metal, including steel, was really a bit of a family affair. Oftentimes I will get into the personality or other personal sorts of things about the artist, but with Richard Serra, I'm going to consciously choose not to. And I do that out of respect for Richard Serra because this is what he had to say on that sort of topic.
I mean, you know, Genet said, look, everything anyone ever said about you is probably true. Not because it's true, but because they said it. But it's difficult that people's avenue to your work becomes first about your personality, not about your work. And for that reason, I really ducked putting my face up front. I really wanted people to deal with the work and not with my personality. My personality is my personality. I'm not a movie star. I'm not interested in my personality being out there. The 80s really turned a lot of artists who misread Warhol into movie stars. That's never been my interest. I really want to be respected. I've always wanted to be respected for my work, not for my personality. And I think, actually, it's helped to preserve my person and my work because I've been outside of the mainstream of consumption.
He could be anywhere, wandering around, talking to the trees. Believe me, this man is a menace. He's always drinking, starting fights. Isn't that right?
With a hands-on approach to his art, he became internationally known as an artist who works with materials that seem to defy gravity. He began his formal training at the University of California at Berkeley. However, he got his degree in English literature. He would work his way through school by working at the steel mills.
I think materials have to do with sensibilities. And I think a choice of material has to do with one's sensibility. Now, some people like to work in clay, some people like to work in plaster, some people like to work in bronze, some people like the color red. The notion of a material that you respond to, that you think that you can extend yourself to, becomes an extension of who you are. How one selects a material has a lot to do with what one knows about it and the potential for it. And I, at a very young age, even though I never thought I would use steel to make sculpture, never even, because it was a traditional material I didn't want to get near, I understood it. And I realized I understood it in a way that it hadn't been used. So I had no reservation about going in and picking up a big 4 or 5 ton plate. I understood you could do something with it. I wasn't picking it up just because I thought it was heavy. I was picking it up because I thought I could make it light, because I could do something with it that other people hadn't done before, that I could move people through it in a way other people hadn't moved people before.
How did you do that?
Don't know. Fast type.
This real-world experience would serve him well in his professional art-making career, as well as providing an inspiration and direction for his career. Over time, Richard Serra would spend a lot of time and energy experimenting with his artistic approach. He did everything from throwing molten lead on a wall to making impact casts using enormous plates of curved steel that look as though they were weightless. He also incorporates other industrial materials like rubber, wood, and concrete. As his career moved forward, he would begin to work in a series known as the Arc of the Curve. These prints, as the series name implies, bend to one side. These are large etching prints that range in size and are printed in solid black and have a textural quality that resembles that of tree bark. These prints are so large that each one requires over a pound of ink to produce each and every print.
Whoop-de-doo! What does it all mean, Basil?
Regardless of the approach, whether you're talking about something sculptural or something more two-dimensional, Richard Serra places his emphasis on the process of creating. This is the character and the actual physical act of making that is far more important than the end product. This is why his artwork is so diverse and it can be really applied in lots of different artistic media, like the videos that are recording and documenting what his process was. Now these videos of him making his work become as much a part of the end product as the end result would. Richard Serra has a huge legacy of artistic expression, and he focuses on the process, the actual act of making. And I think a lot of us, if we just put it in our mind, it doesn't matter what the outcome is, it just matters that we're working, it matters that we're able to create something. That's the main focus of what art is, according to Richard Serra, and millions of other artists that work just like him. He lives and works in New York and Long Island to this day, and my hope is that his story can impact you to get out and make some things, and also have an appreciation for the work that he makes the next time you visit the art museum.
I think people even go to museums, pay the door, go through the turnstile, and still have a prejudgment about that can't be art. I'll give you a prime example. You take a painter like Robert Ryman, who paints all white paintings. If you listen to people like Morley Safer, whoever,
here we go.
They're still not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't want to call it art. No, they don't want to call it art because they refuse to open their eyes and look at what's in front of them. It's namely just paint on canvas. Yeah. And it's also there's a suspicion that if you don't know about art and you're not going to give yourself the benefit of the doubt, then you're going to be suspicious that the artist is foisting something over on you. Okay. And that remains.
Scotlanders, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I love being able to bring it to you. Make sure you subscribe and share with your neighbors. And we'll see you next time. You have yourself a great day.
From my heart, I say thank you for all of us.